this is Miss Sebastian, and today we're going to look at the second part of our percents lesson. So our first question says, what percent of 50 is 20? Now, because the other day we worked on how to set these up, not using that 10 by 10 grid, we did it the normal way, just reading what our sentence says. We're just going to continue that. So we're going to say, what percent of, remember of means times, 50 equals 20. So now all we have to do is do the opposite. We're going to divide both sides by 50. 20 divided by 50 gives us 0.4 if you do it on the calculator. But if you wanted to and make it part of a whole, like it shows up here, you could just make it equal to something over 100. So you multiply by 2, multiply by 2, and you do get 40. So it would be 40%. If you looked right here, you could say, okay, I know that this is part of 100. So this would be 4 over 10 or 40 over 100. So you get the exact same answer either way you do it. I just wanted you to see both ways there. Okay, let's look at number 2. There we go. Okay, so what percent of 65 is 13? So what percent of means times 65 is equals 13. So we're going to do the exact same thing. Divide this side by 65 to get the question mark by itself. Okay, and when I simplify this, I get 1/5. On your calculator, you would get 0.2. Okay, I just want to show you both of these. What can I multiply 5 by to get 100? I would multiply by 20, so I'd have to multiply by 20 on the top. Notice this is the same thing. This would be 2 over 10 or 20 over 100. So this would give you 20%. These are the same thing. You just need to be able to recognize both ways. Okay, number 3. 45 is 5%, and I'm going to write that as 0.05 of what number? So I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to divide by 0.05 because I'm trying to get that question mark by itself. Now this one I would use my calculator on. If you want to do it by hand, that is fine, but you don't have to. You get 900. Now how could I do that as two fractions? Okay, you could set up a proportion. 45 over what is equal to 5 over 100, or 5% of 100. Do the butterfly like I showed you. 45 times 100 divided by the one that's left. And you do still get that 900. Okay, so you've got several different ways you can solve these. Either one is your choice. But I want to make sure you know them all. So now we're going to do another. 90 is 12% of what number? So you can either divide by 12% and get 750, or you could set up your proportion. 90 over what is equal to 12 over 100. Do your cross multiply and divide by the one that's left. And you would still get 750. Okay, let's look at number 5. Select true or false for each statement. So 7 is 5% of 140. So all I have to do is multiply 5% times 140, and I do get 7, so that one's true. And I'm going to check my next one. 250 is 5% of 12,500. When I multiply 12,500 by 5%, I get that that should be 625. So that one's false. It's not 250. Number 6. What is 3% of 900? All you have to do is multiply 900 times 0.03, and you do get 27. Okay, what is, there we go. What is 90% of 10? So all you have to do is multiply 90% of 10, or 0.9 times 10, and you do get that that is 9. Okay, when they're both on the same side, you can go ahead and multiply. If one is on the side with the question mark, that's when you divide. Okay, so this one is asking us what is 15% of 3,000. So they're on the same side. All I have to do is multiply. And when I multiply, I do get 450. Number 9. For every 25,000 people who enter the amusement park, 90% say they would come back. So drag the correct number to the box to make the statement true. So 25,000 people times 90% say they would come back is how many people? So all I have to do is multiply those. 25,000 times 90% equals 22,500 people. Let's look at number 10. A car burns 40% of the oil that's in its engine. It contains 6,000 milliliters of oil. How much oil does the car burn? So we want to know how much is 40% of 6,000. So all we have to do is multiply, and we do get that that's 2,400 milliliters of the oil in its engine. Okay? And number 11, a pitcher contains 48 ounces of fruit juice. 12 ounces is pineapple juice. Okay, what percent of the fruit punch is pineapple juice? So we know 12 is what percent of 48? So all we have to do is divide by that 48, because it's on the same side as the question mark. 12 divided by 48 is the same as 1/4. So I could either change that to something over 100. 4 times 25 gives me 100. 1 times 25. So I'd find out that was 25%. Or I could type that in my calculator, 1 divided by 4, and you would get 0.25 or 25%. So hopefully that helps you look at percents a little better.